Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
And I'm here for the Wicked Clown Love.
Welcome to episode 382, Fall Brawl, 1999.
Sting and Hogan, Brawl for it all.
I guess they at least got to the point?
Yeah, they got to the point. I'm always nervous for the Stinger.
Yeah. And,
Can't.
And also it's Hogan, so... Really?
I just can't.
What's going to happen there?
Can't imagine Sting not being screwed. The best thing Sting did was stay off TV and sell a bunch of T-shirts. In basically, since Hogan showed up in '93, that was the best thing he could do for himself. Because anytime he shows up for an extended amount of time, they just make him look like a chump.
Yeah.
All that work Ric Flair did in '88, right? To get Sting over. Right. Just ruined a few years later.
So this is the 7th annual Fall Brawl produced by WCW. It was held on September 12th, 1999 from the Lawrence Joel Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with an attendance of 7,491 and a buy rate of 130,000.
Not looking so hot for Ted and the crew.
No. Definitely not.
7,000 is the lowest number on a WCW pay-per-view that I can remember at this point.
Yeah, I mean...
Even the last one, I feel like they did they've been doing 12, they've been basically selling out 12 to 16 and I
mean, we may have to go all the way back to maybe one of our Clash of the Champions that we covered, because they were just in tiny...
Yeah. I mean, also, I don't know how big this place is. I'm trying to remember if the seats were empty, but they wouldn't show them anyway.
I mean, the entire top section was blocked off.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, so it could hold another
if
five.
There was a top section.
Yeah.
Because you could only see to a second level.
Yeah. If there was one, that's another 5,000 people. But then the buy rate is...
I mean, that's about where they've been recently.
I guess it's just hard because the WWF has been doing double that, basically.
Yeah, Road Wild. I mean, I guess it's 100,000 down from Road Wild. So.
Oh wow!
So I guess
I felt like it was low.
So I guess it is cutting down quite a bit from there. But something that would happen right around the same time as this Fall Brawl, For the Love of the Game would hit theaters the same weekend.
Is this the most forgotten? No, I guess it's the second most forgotten Sam Raimi film. The first one would probably be The Gift.
Well,
as far as Sam Raimi fans go.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think The Gift was very good, so...
I think it's better than this movie.
I mean,
we can talk about this movie. It's a baseball movie.
It is a baseball movie.
And I love sports movies, even though I'm not a huge sports guy. My issue with this movie is that half of it is really good, and it's all the baseball stuff.
That's the thing. The baseball stuff
is incredible.
Is very, very good.
It's half of the movie is the best baseball movie I've ever seen, and then the other half is one of the worst relationship movies you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's but the baseball scenes are filmed so good and they're so exciting and
so I think I probably have more love for this movie than probably deserved because the baseball scenes are so good.
They are great. That's the issue though, is if the whole movie was this, or I mean even if the relationship was just made sense or was told better or whatever, I don't know. Half of the movie, it's a half great movie.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see Sam Raimi do Sam Raimi camera stuff for baseball. It works.
Absolutely. I mean, this is Costner's third baseball movie after Bull Durham and Field of Dreams.
Two much better films.
Yes. Definitely go watch those before you watch this. But this one's still...
Like we said, half of it is incredible. You can even honestly put it on and just skip anything that's not any scene where with the girlfriend, wife, or whatever.
Yeah, when Kelly Preston's on the screen, just fast forward.
Yeah, and it's not her fault. It's just a poorly written. No shade to Kelly Preston. It has nothing to do with her.
Looking through Sam Raimi, I mean, there's a few of these Sam Raimi things that I've never.
I've seen them all. Wait. I've seen them all.
Wait. Oz the Great and Powerful is his worst movie.
Yeah,
we can all agree.
We can all agree on that. That's dog shit.
And that movie is just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is towards the bottom.
It's definitely towards the bottom.
But,
I mean, I've never seen Crime Wave, like his early
Crime
stuff.
Wave is wonderful to look at, but it will give you a headache. It's got some really cool visual stuff, but the movie itself is like live action Looney Tunes in a bad way. I like it as an object. I think it's also a script by the Coens, an early script by the Coens.
Really?
I think so.
It is.
Yeah.
That at least makes me interested.
I think that you could watch it with the audio off and enjoy it more because I find it charming. It's kind of like,
this first review that I'm seeing, it says this is a cartoon with real people.
Yes, it definitely is, but it just is, there's something off. I would compare it to a low budget version of Spielberg's 1941, a movie that nobody is interesting, but nobody ever is going to want to rewatch.
Do you know who wrote The Gift?
Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did know that.
So is this the movie? Was this the movie he was trying to get made and no one would let him direct again after A Simple Plan?
Well, isn't A Simple Plan's directed by Raimi, right?
Or what movie am I thinking of with Thornton? I'm on a Thornton kick here. I've gone down the rabbit hole a little bit. I
mean, he rules.
But no, he did because he did Sling Blade, obviously.
Yep.
But then
that's what kind of anointed him.
But then he wrote this other movie, and it was All the Pretty Horses. That's what they got Thornton to direct, All the Pretty Horses.
Oh yeah, and that's like a famous Cormac McCarthy book that's part of a trilogy called the Border Trilogy. And
it was basically this unfilmable thing.
Everybody says that about every Cormac McCarthy thing, and the Coens are the only ones that got it right because they picked the right book to make into a movie. Even though I think The Road is a pretty good movie, it's not a great movie. That's another Cormac McCarthy thing.
I was listening to the
Billy Bob Thornton podcast.
It wasn't a podcast.
And he's not.
I'm sure it was an audiobook about Hollywood. Oh, it was the book about the Weinsteins, and because the Weinsteins basically needed someone to direct this movie. Yeah. And so they were like, Billy Bob, come do this and we'll give you money.
Because he's obviously passionate about it. Yeah.
Well, he was passionate about another project that no one wanted to give money to, but the Weinsteins had All the Pretty Horses that they needed someone. Yeah. They had the rights to it. They needed it to be made. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, direct this and we'll give you money for whatever his project that he wanted made or whatever for. And he fucking hated All the Pretty Horses directing it, so he never directed again for 15 years.
Yeah, I wonder where he's been. I haven't seen him probably on TV.
Billy Bob Thornton is doing TV stuff. Yeah. He did a show on Amazon called Goliath, where he plays a skeezy lawyer. It was very good. And now he's on I want to say it's a Taylor Sheridan show.
Checks out.
Called Landman, that's on Paramount Plus, which
I've heard of Landman.
I've heard is good as well, but
there's two Taylor Sheridan movies that exist for me. I don't need to dive into the TV shows. There's the Hell or High Water, and then the one he directed, I can't ever remember the name of.
Well, he also wrote Sicario with Denis Villeneuve,
which rules. And then it's Jeremy Renner, and takes place in Alaska, and it's good. It's a good movie.
I know what you're talking about. Can't think of the
name of it.
Something,
winter something.
Cold River?
Yeah, I think.
Cold Water?
Cold River sounds right.
If you ever want to
Wind River. It's called Wind River.
Oh, yeah. If you ever want to see what Taylor Sheridan looked like back in the day, go watch some old Vanessa Mars episodes.
Veronica Mars?
Veronica Mars. That's what I meant.
Was he in that show?
Yeah, he was one of the brothers of the like Irish mob group in like the first or second season.
Huh. That's funny. I never watched that show, but I know people love it.
Yeah. It was just always,
yeah.
It's always funny to like see people that like have hit big doing other things.
Yeah, show up in a...
Because like, it's kind of like Mike White. Like everyone's like, White Lotus. And I'm like, dude was writing School of Rock and all these movies with Jack Black, Nacho Libre with Jack Black back in the early 2000s. I'm like,
he's been around.
He's Orange County. I remember him writing Orange County.
I saw Orange County in the theater. That's a not memorable movie.
No,
he was writing like kind of he's trashy PG-13 comedies.
But he's been around for forever. But everyone's just now like Mike White and White Lotus, and I'm just like, yeah, I've
very different things.
Been following his career for a very long time. But anywho's, if you like baseball movies, you've probably seen For the Love of the Game.
Yeah,
but like you said,
half of it's rules, half of it's great.
Half of it's great.
Yeah.
But let's talk some Fall Brawl 99. And hopefully half of this is great.
That'd be nice.
For a WCW show, it definitely would be.
Yeah.
We get a video package showing footage of Sting and Hogan. Who do you trust? Their narrator asks, as Hulk says he's not the same Hollywood he was before. You can trust me. Who do you believe? As Lex Luger tells the Stinger to be careful. He doesn't trust Hogan.
And, Hogan is red and yellow now. He's turned face, but why wouldn't he just turn again?
Yeah.
What does it matter to him? And then if this is pulling up the Lex Sting stuff, which we haven't watched a lot of TV for WCW recently, but a year or two ago, that was a big storyline.
I mean, Luger feels like Luger turns on Sting all the time.
Yeah.
Even though they're best friends.
But that paycheck, buddy.
Yeah. Trust. Sting reminds Hogan, if he screws him, I'll get you. With Hulk responding that he wouldn't stab Stinger in the back. Deception. Luger claims that he and Sting have been friends for 13 years.
I believe that.
Friendship. Hogan won't stab Stinger in the back. Followed by Luger showing his friend a picture of Hulk and his Hummer.
The Hummer?
While Hogan claims he wasn't the driver.
I can't believe that they're still bringing up the white Hummer.
Macho Man is also shown in Hulk's dressing room at one point, causing Sting to question, what is the truth? As Hogan says, he didn't know Savage was there, causing Lex to call Hogan a scammer. Who can tell truth from lies? Hulk says that Luger is up to something, that he would never double-cross the Stinger.
We could probably do like a 5-episode investigation of every use of the white Hummer from Inception to the last
definitely.
one. But we'd have to watch so much crap.
Yes,
but it would have to be a thing where we like wrote it all out and produced it, and we won't do it. But that's just how much this fucking red herring has been toted about. And every time it shows back up again, I'm like, we're still talking about that? What the fuck?
We then get a scene where Sting is confronting Hogan in his locker room, where, I don't know if you realized who it was, but that's Bret Hart sitting in the locker room with Hulk.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
When the lights go out, only to return to see the Stinger laid out, with Hulk saying that Lex hit him, trying to set him up, leading to Luger and Hogan shoving each other. We then get the Fall Brawl logo as Pyro goes off, when we're welcomed by Tony Schiavone, joined by Mike Tenay and Bobby the Brain Heenan. And the announcers wonder who can be trusted. Plus they discuss the other matches we will see tonight, and hyping up the hotline. Tony then sends it to a video package over our next match, with Schiavone asking, are they rappers or are they wrestlers?
You can do both. Hogan was a bass player in a rock band.
There you go.
He says that Metallica tried to hire him because he's a liar.
What is the truth?
We know the truth. Metallica never called Hulk Hogan.
But that takes us to our first match. The Dark Carnival of Vampiro and the Insane Clown Posse of Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope.
Whoop whoop.
Versus the Filthy Animals of Rey Mysterio Jr., Eddie Guerrero, and Kidman. Rey and the Canadian Vampire shove each other to start. before the Dark Carnival wastes time on the floor with the crowd chanting for Eddie.
Yeah, they really are milking the opening of this match.
And Shaggy finally returns for strikes with Kidman, running him into Vampiro's boot, but telegraphs his move, leading to Billy drop-kicking his opponent and stopping away. Kidman misses a corner splash, followed by a clothesline by the Clown, goes for a back suplex, only for Billy to flip out and take control due to a wheelbarrow springboard leg drop combo with Mysterio and a slingshot senton splash from Guerrero. Shaggy's then taken down by a leg lariat from Eddie and a springboard splash from Ray before the Clown's tag, bringing Violent J in, using his size advantage to begin and catapulting Mysterio into a corner. The Canadian Vampire tags in but telegraphs his move, allowing Ray to nail a drop kick and a Rough Rider to send the Dark Carnival rolling out to regroup.
You know, that's the Dark Carnival was the thing that they talked about in all of their albums.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it was just God and religion. Just a really funny thing for guys that just made clown music that only existed to say the most terrible stuff you could for so long. Yeah, funny stuff. I can't imagine that was the plan all along.
Kidman returns to face Jay, hammering away, causing Violent J to hide behind the ref momentarily until he lands a cheap shot in a DDT. Vampiro comes in to nail a powerbomb for a 2 count, a leaping shoulder tackle, and a top rope spin kick for a near fall.
And Tony says maybe the only funny thing that Tony Schiavone has ever said, where he says that he used to have a Vampiro-esque haircut back in the day. And it's just a silly thing he just throws in there probably because he's bored. But I got a kick out of it, and I was surprised because Tony Schiavone is not a funny guy.
No. The Canadian Vampire puts Billy in his corner for the Clowns to do some double teaming, followed by a power slam by Shaggy, when Jay tags in only to be taken down by a clothesline, with Kidman making the crawl for the hot tag. Mysterio leaps in with a springboard Thez press and a springboard Cabrata for a 2 count, but a reversed whip sends Ray to the ropes, where he 619s himself back into the ring, only for Violent J to clothesline him out to the floor.
The 619, the Mexican skin the cat.
Tiger Feint Kick is what it's actually called.
Yeah.
Shaggy with stomps and runs Mysterio into the railing, with Ray grabbing at his knee. So the Dark Carnival rolls him back in, with Vampiro grabbing a chinlock, until going after the other animals in the corner. Mysterio then powers his way to the corner, or more like the Canadian Vampire drags him along.
Yeah.
Making the tag to Eddie, who jumps in with back elbows, chops, and a clothesline to Vampiro. Guerrero keeps up the attack with a monkey flip, but the Canadian Vampire lands on his feet and delivers an enziguri, tagging Violent J in for a side slam and a body slam, followed by Shaggy flying off the top with a leg drop for a near fall. And Vampiro returns only to be tilt-a-whirl slammed by Eddie, clothesline to Jay, hip toss to Shaggy, but the Canadian Vampires back up to attack from behind. Shaggy and Vampiro then go for a double team cutter, which the Clown fucks up, before Shaggy goes up top, which Kidman stops by crotching his opponent. And Billy heads up as well, only to be met by the Canadian Vampire, who hits a super belly-to-belly suplex, when Guerrero would fly off the top with a missile dropkick, leading to a Kidman shooting star press for the pin and the win.
Well, I mean, at least ICP didn't win.
Correct. This is also the last time we'll see them for a little while.
Yeah. Are they about to jump to another promotion before they jump back to another promotion before they try out another promotion?
I think they're just about to start Juggalo
Championship. JCW, put some respect on its name, Matt.
They do that for a while. I think the next time we may see them is like in TNA, actually.
Oh, wow.
But post-match, an official and the animals carry Ray to the back. Because he did actually hurt himself.
Yeah. This is a funny era for Ray. No mask, buzz cut with bleach blonde hair, and wrestling in overalls.
Yeah.
It's quite the look.
It's no superhero gear at WrestleMania.
No.
The Revolution are at the WCW.com booth, with Perry wondering if you can really download pictures of the Nitro Girls, when the host would interrupt to ask if the Revolution is going to clean sweep their matches tonight, with Saturn guaranteeing it, before all of them just get up and walk away. Tony then sends it to a video package over our next match, where we see Lenny Lane defeat Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title, with the help from his friend Lodi, while Kaz Hayashi has been making a name for himself lately, including pinning Lane during a match.
I watched the show. I can't even picture what Lenny Lane looks like in my head.
Looks like mini Lex Luger.
Oh yeah. Oh, in my notes I wrote that he's persona is gay Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Which he's like doing effeminate Chris Jericho is what I gleaned from it. Now I can picture him in my head because I remember. Yeah, good thing I take notes sometimes.
That takes us to our second match: Kaz Hayashi versus Lenny Lane with Lodi for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And the last time we saw all three men was at World War III, 1998, episode 330. Because, they need some jobbers.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know where Kaz's career goes, but don't put him in the same exact tier as Lenny Lane.
Oh, I just meant in the World War III.
Yeah, World War III for sure.
So Lenny mounts Hayashi from behind to begin, then skips when sent to the ropes, before working an arm breaker, until Kaz hits his opponent in the ass with right hands and boots to pull Lane over for a sunset flip that gets a 2 count. Hayashi with a drop kick and a head scissors takedown that sends Lenny retreating to his partner for a hug, only for Kaz to run and fly over the ropes with a twisting plancha onto them. Now back inside, Hayashi keeps up the attack with a flash elbow, starts to run the ropes, but Lodi trips him up from the outside, with Lane missing a pair of elbow drops, only to catch his opponent with a wheelbarrow bomb for a near fall. Back rakes by Lenny and tells the crowd to talk to the hand, followed by charging into a big boot and a drop toe hold into the turnbuckle. And Kaz attempts a slingshot something, but Lane counters by driving Hayashi down to the mat. Knee lifts and a powerbomb for a 2 count. A body slam attempt which Kaz floats over and low bridges the ropes when Lenny charges in, before a senton over the ropes onto his opponent. And Lane's rolled in when Lodi would attack Hayashi from behind, running him into multiple guardrails, before rolling Kaz in for Lenny to stomp away a snapmare and a chinlock to wear his opponent down. And Hayashi fires up with back elbows, flipping out of a suplex attempt, and jumps onto the shoulders of Lane to deliver a hurricanrana for a near fall. Lenny answers back with a bulldog for a 2 count, only for Kaz to flip out of another suplex to hit a back suplex of his own, leaving both men down momentarily. And back up, the two men are exchanging strikes when a whip sends Hayashi to a corner, with Lane charging in, but Kaz escapes to the apron to nail a slingshot bulldog. And Hayashi sets his opponent on the turnbuckles, joining him up top for a sunset flip powerbomb for the pin. And no, Lodi puts his partner's foot on the ropes.
Damn you.
Kaz goes to the top, only to be knocked down and crotched. But Lenny runs into a pair of boots, allowing Hayashi to dive off into another hurricanrana for a near fall. A jawbreaker by Lane, only for a reversed whip to send Lenny to the ropes, where Lodi has climbed onto the apron. But he stops in time and gives his partner a hug, leading to Kaz drop-kicking and victory rolling his opponent up for the pin. And no! Lane kicks out. Hayashi hits a backbreaker and heads up top, only for Lodi to climb to the apron again. So Kaz leaps off with a forearm to the sign guy, recovering to nail a hot shot across the ropes, leaving Hayashi stunned enough for Lenny to roll him up for the pin. And no! Kaz kicks out.
Thank God.
Hayashi ducks a clothesline and goes for a hurricanrana, which Lane ducks and grabs his opponent to deliver the stroke for the pin and the win. And when I say the stroke, yes, I do mean Jarrett's finisher from the future.
Yeah.
It's the same move. It's just funny that they kept the same name whenever Jeff Jarrett took over. But it meant something completely different.
Sorry for any of my annoyances with Jericho, because Lenny is an example of doing it poorly. And I do give Jericho his flowers plenty of times. I'm just colored by how annoying he is today. But this Lenny guy, he stinks.
So I got a fun fact here for you.
Love to hear it.
Lenny would be stripped of the Cruiserweight title within the next few weeks.
Because he's boring?
The company claimed he lost it on a house show, but it was actually due to the Gay and Lesbian Alliance complaining about Lane and Lodi.
Oh, yeah, about them just being a gay joke.
Yes. They were basically jobbers in that sense of word.
Yeah.
They were always losing, always getting beat up, basically. Yeah. And the Alliance was worried people would think it was okay to beat up an LGBTQ person.
Everybody knows that that's not okay. There's just people that are jerks. Everyone knows it's not okay to beat up somebody.
Yeah.
And unless there's a true reason. But
so this is the only time we'll see this gimmick.
Yeah. They never messed with Gold Dust.
They might have, but
but Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit.
I don't think it was outright.
Yeah,
it was homoerotic, but it wasn't as
blatant. That's why Gold Dust works and is a fun character.
Yeah.
And a memorable character.
Mean Gene Okerlund is then in the ring, bringing out Sting for an interview.
I'm sure Sting has a lot to say.
And Gene asks about Lex Luger, with the Stinger responding that they are barely even friends these days, threatening him that if he sticks his nose in his business, the result will be the same as last week, where Sting decked him on Nitro. Okerlund turns their attention to Hogan, with the Stinger saying Hulk has been walking the straight line week after week.
For a couple weeks.
So he has no problem with the champ. But this is for the title. It's showtime, folks.
Yeah, like I said, Sting, the world's greatest promo.
Mean Gene then sends it to a video package over our next match, where we see the Revolution and First Family having interactions. But that takes us to our third match, the First Family of Hugh Morrus and Brian Knobbs.
What a family.
With Jimmy Hart versus the Revolution of Shane Douglas and Dean Malenko in a no DQ match.
Of course it is. Hugh Morrus and Brian Knobbs are there.
So Shane takes the mic and asks Saginaw, Michigan if they're ready.
They're ready. The crowd's pretty hot.
I'm sure Saginaw, Michigan is, but
that's not where we are.
We're in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Damn. I don't even think I caught that. I was just like, the crowd's pretty hot here considering how many people are.
I'm like, it's not even... If he had been like Durham, but Saginaw, Michigan's a completely different part of the country.
Yeah, it's the Midwest. You're in you're in Flair country, brother. Respect.
Yeah. So everybody's brawling as soon as the Revolution hit the ring, with Morrus taking Douglas down outside, joining his partner to double team Dean, only for Malenko to kick both guys low and deliver a double noggin knocker. Shane rejoins the fray to hit an atomic low blow and a leg lariat from Dean to Hugh that sends the family bailing to regroup on the outside, turning their backs to their opponents and allowing the Revolution to nail baseball slides to them, leading to more brawling on the floor.
As you'd expect.
Knobbs has run into the steel steps, and the fans help Douglas by holding Morrus for his chops, followed by Hugh being sent into the ring steps as well. Shane then uses the stairs as a weapon across the back of Brian, while Malenko is sent into the railing by Knobbs. Brian helps his partner by throwing a trash can at Douglas, before Dean recovers to wrap a TV cord around Knobbs' throat. Shane with mounted punches to Brian back inside the ring, whipping his opponent to a corner and charges after, only to receive a big boot and a clothesline, as Malenko and Hugh then climb to the apron for the match to settle into our normal tag. Knobbs with forearms and a pit stop to Douglas, who responds with a clothesline to Brian and a drop kick to Morrus on the apron to knock him down. And Shane and Dean team up for a combo drop toe hold basement drop kick for a 2 count, followed by Malenko working over Hugh with arm work. Douglas returns, but his whip is reversed, forcing him to get his boot up to Morrus charging in, before a rolling neck snap, only for a rake of the eyes to allow Knobs to tag in. Dean keeps up the attack on Bryan with knee drops, throwing him to the floor where Shane runs him into a railing. Tries to do it again, but Knobs reverses to send Douglas into the steel. And Malenko comes out to get Bryan back in before a double headbutt by the Revolution, when Knobs reverses a whip to send Shane to the ropes, where Morrus is waiting, only for Douglas to slide under him to the floor, yanking Hugh down off the apron. Bryan then falls out of the ring as he looks to give chase, giving Shane the opportunity to climb back in, and hits a drop toe hold on Knobs when he returns. Yeah, it was like a weird spot. Like, Knobs is like trying to get out of the ring, and I think he trips on the ropes, and so he like falls to the floor.
He's so used to not being inside the ring.
It is Bryan Knobs.
Yeah. They tried to get in there, have a regular tag match for a second.
I mean, it's a no DQ match, so like it's just basically be a tornado tag to begin with.
True enough.
Douglas is sent to the ropes again. This time, Morrus is able to get a knee to his back, followed by Hart trying to hold his foot. But Shane drags Jimmy to the apron, leading to Bryan attacking from behind to take control.
I forgot Jimmy was there.
Knobs with a body slam and goes for a second rope splash, only for Douglas to get his boot up to the chin and makes the crawl for the
Hart tag.
Malenko cleans house with forearms, back body drop to Hugh, drop kick to Bryan, even knocks Hart off the apron as well.
Jimmy Hart bump.
Dean has his whip reversed, sends him to the ropes, where Knobs trips him up from the floor, followed by an elbow drop and no laughing matter from Morrus for the pin and the win.
Boo! At least that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I don't think Morrus should be pinning Dean Malenko.
Why is Shane Douglas and Dean Malenko losing to the First Family?
Because no DQ, brother. The ball was in their court.
Tony then sends it to a video package over our next match, where we see confrontations between Rick Steiner and Perry Saturn, where the dog-faced gremlin says, "You don't like me? Bite me." Only for Saturn to answer back that he's not going to bite him. He's going to beat him. But that takes us to our fourth match. Perry Saturn versus Rick Steiner for the WCW World Television Championship. And Shivani mentions that Buff Bagwell hasn't arrived to the building yet, and he has a match later in the evening, as Rick tackles his opponent and works him over with strikes and clotheslines, only for Saturn to answer back with a thrust kick, a body slam, and a springboard leg drop, sending Steiner rolling out to regroup. A tope suicida by Perry before taking the fight back inside for mounted punches, followed by a German suplex for a 2 count. And Rick grabs the ref and shoves him into Saturn to provide a distraction, kicking his opponent low, which allows him to take control with elbow drops and eye rakes. As Tenay mentions the black armband that Nick Patrick is wearing for the passing of Mark Curtis.
They couldn't have done more than that for poor Mark Curtis.
I mean, I think they did give him a 10-bell salute on the Nitro.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess
the next night.
Yeah, it's probably. I'm sure he didn't die yesterday, as you know, when this show happened anyway.
Steiner dumps Perry to the floor, runs him into the ring steps, and slams his head into them as well, before pulling up the mat around ringside to deliver a DDT on the concrete.
Ooh.
Back inside, Rick continues the punishment with turnbuckle smashes and a release German for a near fall.
Oh, to see it.
He threatens the ref, giving Saturn an opportunity to roll up his opponent for a 2 count. And Steiner responds with a Steiner line, camel clutch, and a single crab until Perry can make the ropes. He goes back to the crab momentarily until nailing a pair of belly-to-belly suplexes. And Rick places Saturn on a turnbuckle, but Perry kicks Steiner away and flies off with a missile dropkick, followed by a springboard crossbody and a belly-to-belly suplex for a near fall. And Rick ducks a clothesline and catches Saturn going for a leapfrog with a power slam for a 2 count. Goes to whipping, only for Perry to counter it into a Death Valley driver for the pin. And no, Steiner kicks out. Saturn goes for another DVD, but Rick escapes and slams his opponent into the turnbuckle before heading up top, only for Perry to respond with a super kick, which causes Steiner to crotch himself. And Saturn climbs up for the superplex, but Rick fights him off with a front suplex down to the mat, before leaping off the top with a bulldog for the pin and the win.
Looks like Saturn almost had him.
Come on, guys. Rick Steiner's not losing to Perry Saturn.
Not in his mind. Although I don't think any of the crowd would have had an issue with it.
No one would have had an issue with it.
And that's coming from a Rick guy.
We go to Mean Gene in the back with Hulk Hogan. And he swears on the red and yellow that he won't stab the Stinger in the back. He doesn't just do things. He has plans.
And he said is that, like, specifically, I would have done that a long time ago. And it's like, LOL, you have already done that.
Yeah, you did do it a long time ago.
Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago. You've been doing it to him every time you have a match with him. In one way or another.
And then he finishes up by telling anyone in the back, if they want some, to come and get some.
But he has a match with Sting. Why is he open and challenging people?
Because we need run-ins to make a Hogan match work.
Yeah.
The announcers then again mention that Buff Bagwell has not arrived, and his match is scheduled next. But someone has stepped up to take his place.
Who could it be?
So it takes us to our fifth match. Berlyn with his personal bodyguard versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, Berlyn.
And we haven't seen Berlyn since Halloween Havoc 98, when he was Alex Wright.
Yep.
Episode 327. And Hacksaw since Nitro, July 6th, 1998. Episode 311.
Just to get this out of the way, Berlyn has a decent look. I like his dumb haircut. But he went from, like, disco, or not disco, but, like, techno German face to anti-American German in 1999.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? It's not the best new coat of paint. We're not really beefing with Germany at this point.
No.
Walls dropped.
Speaking of the wall,
World War II ended.
His personal bodyguard,
Yeah.
that would actually become his name in the future.
Wait, what?
The bodyguard?
The bodyguard, yeah.
His name would become The Wall.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. I was trying to figure out who this guy was.
Yeah, they didn't give him a name on this show,
Yeah.
but
I wrote bodyguard down too, so we're in the same boat.
so the German attacks Duggan from behind, hitting a drop kick and stomps in a corner, but a reversed whip leads to a hip toss and several clotheslines that sends Berlyn to the floor.
By the way, people love that Jim Duggan is here. Just to point it out for you listeners.
I mean, who doesn't love the we know Godfather does.
Yeah, I was about to do the same joke.
Back in, Hacksaw catches a kick and delivers an atomic drop, forearms and a double axe handle before telegraphing his move, allowing the German to kick and clothesline his opponent to gain control. Berlyn with strikes, chops, stomps, but nothing is affecting Duggan as he no-sells everything.
I mean, he's doing
his best Rick Steiner impression?
Yeah, but he's also, like, that's what Hacksaw does. He also does the Hogan thing where he stomps around and shakes his head.
Until a poke of the eyes and a chinlock wears down Hacksaw. He escapes with elbows and shoulder blocks, but runs into a boot in the corner before more strikes and chokes by the German. And Duggan grabs, I don't know why I keep saying Duggan. Duggan grabs a front chancery, which Berlyn counters with a fireman's carry, only for Hacksaw to continue to no-sell. And Duggan rolls out of many hold attempts until the German gets a leverage-aided chinlock. But again, Hacksaw escapes with right hands and forearms, followed by a back body drop that sends Berlyn rolling out again to regroup.
Hacksaw does have like 100 pounds on him.
Oh, yeah, but like...
He is Hacksaw, Jim Duggan.
And the bodyguard exposes the concrete on the opposite side of the ring, while the German lures in his opponent, where the wall hits a clothesline.
We just pulled up the
We did.
Floor pad. Granted, it was a DDT, which is a more impressive thing to do on the concrete, but...
And they head back inside where Berlyn nails a neckbreaker for the pin. And the win. So I got a fun fact for you here.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that Buff Bagwell hadn't shown up to the building yet was because he refused to lose. So he basically just kind of removed himself from the show. But it's kind of ironic that this is the first match for Wright in his new persona. Okay?
Yeah.
His first match when he first showed up as Alex Wright was the match that got Paul Roma fired for basically doing the exact same thing that Hacksaw Jim Duggan did.
Yeah.
In this match, he did to him at Super Brawl 95.
But Roma is not buddies with Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
And at least, but like this gimmick was never going to get over, even though we like Alex Wright.
I mean, I think it could have gotten over, but like
the name is stupid.
He doesn't have the offense at all to. He's kind of
be a heel.
He's kind of boring to be a heel.
Yeah, he needs to be a babyface.
Yeah,
look at him. The guy looks. Yeah. He looks like. I mean, he's German, but he looks like. I mean, now his hair's dyed black, but all-American boy is kind of what he looks like.
I mean, I think they were kind of going for like a Matrix type look.
Yeah.
With the weird glasses.
And he had this
like Joey Pants glasses.
Yeah.
But speaking of Buff Bagwell, I guess he's finally arrived to the building.
How convenient.
Where an agent, Mike Graham, explains that his match has already happened, telling him to be on time for once in your life, sending Bagwell rushing off. And where he's rushing off to is the ring, where he hugs Duggan.
He just was like, well, I got to at least be on the show.
But Hacksaw starts arguing with him. So I guess Hacksaw probably was like, quit being such a fucking unprofessional douche. And
or you weren't here and now I just lost.
Yeah. I mean,
that's your...
I mean, I feel like it was probably what I said was what he probably said, but what you're probably supposed to think is
what I just said. That's the thing that makes sense. That's the kayfabe.
Yeah. We then cut to a video package over our next match, where we see the West Texas Rednecks have defeated Harlem Heat with the help of a cowbell. So the former champs want their belt back. And that takes us to our sixth match. Harlem Heat of Booker T and Stevie Ray versus the West Texas Rednecks of Barry and Kendall Windham with Curt Hennig for the WCW World Tag Team Championships.
Got a new song.
They do have a new song.
Good old boys.
Yeah. Because everyone loved Rap is Crap, but they want them to be heels. So they had them do a new song that's not good.
Yeah, and it's funny because Rap is Crap should have been the song for heels, but everyone was like, oh no, we agree. We're wrestling fans.
We're in the Deep South, guys. We want country music. So Booker starts it off by taking Kendall down with forearms and a roundhouse kick that has Windham rolling out, only to slide back in as Booker T gives chase, allowing him to take advantage as Curt grabs hold of their opponent. Booker retaliates with a leaping forearm and clothesline that sends Kendall tagging out to his brother. But Booker T keeps up the attack with an arm drag, strikes, and another roundhouse kick. Harlem Heat team up with a double suplex to Barry, followed by Stevie rocking his opponent with strikes and atomic drops to both Windham brothers. A poke of the eyes by Barry puts the Rednecks in control as Kendall hits chops and left hands, only for Stevie to no-sell and send Windham to a corner. But he runs into a big boot and gets ping-pong punched. But Kendall comes back with a leg drop, Barry with a DDT, and works over Stevie Ray with strikes, rakes to the eyes, a body slam, and an elbow drop, before bringing Kendall back to deliver a double clothesline for a 2 count. And Barry's whips reverse, leading to a power slam by Stevie, allowing him to make the crawl for the hot tag. Booker cleans house with forearms, Harlem side kick, and a side slam to Kendall. Calls for the axe kick, but runs into Curt, who had climbed to the apron. And Booker T gets thrown to the floor where he's triple teamed by the Rednecks, followed by being rolled back in where Kendall hits a knee drop for a near fall. And Booker fights his way free from a chin lock to nail the axe kick. Spinneroonies up, only for Barry to have rushed in to attack, sending Booker T back to the outside, where Hennig tosses him into a railing and stomps away.
Boo. Crowd's hot for heat.
Booker's rolled back in with Barry dropping him with a back suplex for a 2 count, before placing him on a turnbuckle to deliver a superplex for the pin. And no, Stevie Ray makes a save. Kendall with chops and a leaping clothesline for a near fall, followed by turnbuckle smashes and a whip across the ring. But Booker T leaps up and over a charging Windham to roll him up for a 2 count. And Booker fights his way to the corner for a tag, only for the ref to be distracted.
Love it.
Which forces Stevie back to the apron, with the Windhams double teaming their opponent before Barry locks on a sleeper momentarily. And Kendall keeps up the attack with a second rope clothesline, followed by Booker T fighting to make a tag. But again, the ref's distracted. But Stevie doesn't care this time, taking out everyone with right hands, clotheslines, and body slams. And Stevie Ray sets up for the slapjack, but he has to release it to duck a clothesline from Barry, leading to everybody brawling, when Stevie's whip is reversed, sending him to the ropes, where Curt hits him with the cowbell from the apron. And Kendall makes the cover, but the ref is distracted by the action on the outside, as Booker T fights off Barry and Hennig, climbing to the top for a missile dropkick to Kendall, and making the cover for the pin and the win. And new.
There was a really great sign somebody had about the West Texas Rednecks. It says the West Texas Rednecks are just mad because their wives left them, their dog died, and their pickups are broken down. I thought that was cute and funny. And I thought this match was a lot better than I expected.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit too much, but it was structured like a main event tag match of the past. And I respect it.
Tony then sends us to a video package over our next match. Sid Vicious is up to 79-0.
Yeah, this is silly. Like, okay, we have Goldberg, and now we're gonna Goldberg Sid, who's been around since like the late 80s.
Yeah.
And 79-0. He's been here for a month.
Yeah. While Chris Benoit calls him the biggest man I've ever faced in my career.
It's believable.
Sid says he's going to have to take his anger out on the Crippler, as he's the only one in the Revolution that really stands out. With Benoit responding that he's not standing out, he's stepping up. I'll at least give the Revolution some credit there. They have some good lines in their promos.
Yeah, they also have Shane Douglas here to help them now.
That takes us to our 7th match. The Millennium Man, Sid Vicious, versus the Crippler, Chris Benoit, for the WCW United States Championship. And the Crippler takes his opponent to the corner several times, only to be thrown off across the ring, followed by a shoulder block by Vicious that sends Benoit out of the ring to regroup. Now back in, Sid stays on the offensive, pounding away and choking, when Chris would slide under Vicious and catches a boot to deliver a dragon screw leg whip and a basement dropkick. I'm surprised Sid knew how to take that.
Yeah. I mean, this might be one of the times where he's trying, because they're obviously pushing him if they're like, oh, he's 79-0. And this crowd is sounding twice as big as they are. They are helping the show a lot. And I love the love for Chris Benoit, at least at this point in time in 1999.
Benoit works the leg by pouncing on it, applies an Indian deathlock, when Sid would rake the eyes to break the hold, getting back to his feet to retaliate with strikes and stomps, before charging into a corner. But the Crippler avoids, causing Vicious to hit the turnbuckles. Chris would then drag his opponent to the corner and slam his bad leg against the post. Drop kicks the steel steps into them as well, followed by rolling Vicious into the ring. And Benoit heads up top, flying in with a crossbody, only for Sid to catch him. But the Crippler slides out the back and hits a German suplex. Chris goes for another, only for Vicious to elbow and knee lift himself free, sending Benoit to the ropes, who comes back with a crucifix attempt. But Sid drives him down to the mat with a Samoan drop. And Vicious keeps up the attack with a Cobra clutch slam for a 2 count. Sends the Crippler to the ropes, only to telegraph his move, allowing Chris to attempt a sunset flip. But Sid stays up and drops down for a near fall. Vicious then goes for a power slam, when Benoit would wiggle free to shove his opponent into a corner, before knee lifts and a basement dropkick, leading to the Crippler crossface. But Sid powers himself to his feet, only to fall back down with his foot on the ropes, causing a break. So Chris continues to kick Vicious in the head, followed by heading up top to nail the diving headbutt. But Sid moves out of the way, picks up Benoit to drill him with the power bomb for the pin, and the win.
And no. I like Sid, and I thought this was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I quite enjoyed this, but Sid gets his boot on the ropes. Chris gives him a kick, and he calls for the finish, and legitimately, the fans are on their feet for Chris Benoit to beat Sid here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just undercut it because it doesn't mean much for Sid Vicious to beat Chris Benoit, but it means a lot for Chris Benoit to beat Sid Vicious because he's a mountain of a man. And Chris Benoit has never quite reached the highs in the past that Sid Vicious has. But that's not what we're doing here. It's just my perspective. And I like Sid.
So, we'll talk more about it later.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to read your face there. I was like, what's Matt got to say?
Tony then sends it to a video package over our next match, where we see Goldberg trying to attack DDP in the back, only for security to hold him back. So they meet in the ring, where Canyon and Bam Bam join in, but both get speared for their trouble, followed by both competitors threatening the other.
I mean, DDP was, we've agreed, Goldberg's best match that we've watched in the matches of Goldberg's career that we have covered.
Yep.
Granted, the ones on the pay-per-view are the only ones that matter, really.
Yeah. That takes us to our 8th match, Diamond Dallas Page versus Goldberg. And DDP takes the mic to remind everyone that he's the greatest two-time champion of all time, before the ref finds a chain and a roll of quarters in his tights, taking them away before the match can begin. And the two men exchange strikes to begin, with Bill getting the better of it, knocking Page out of the ring where he regroups, only for Page to return to a headlock and shoulder tackles. And DDP looks to work the shoulder of his opponent, but Goldberg just shoves him off and back out to the floor, where Page grabs a mic to tell the fans to quit chanting or he's leaving, which, of course, causes them to cheer even louder.
Goldberg.
And DDP hops the railing, only for Bill to give chase into the crowd, bringing his opponent back to the ring where Page would get the upper hand as Goldberg rolls in with a double sledge. But Bill answers right back with a power slam. A mule kick low blow to Goldberg and an errant fist to the ref puts DDP the only one upright, taking out another foreign object from his tights to deliver a right hand to Bill. Page then calls for his finisher, only to lay the boots in, elbows to the back of the head, and chokes on the ropes, before another shot to his opponent with the foreign object. An elbow drop for a 2 count by DDP, and grabs a leverage-aided chinlock to wear down Goldberg, who fights his way to his feet, escaping with elbows and staring down Page, before right hands and a big boot. And Bill sends DDP to the ropes and attempts a hip toss, only for Page to counter it into a DDT for an earfall. DDP then charges at his opponent, but Goldberg catches him with a double underhook suplex that gets a 2 count.
Nasty.
As the Jersey Triad run down to the ring, with Bigelow distracting the ref, while Canyon jumps on the apron. Bill's whip is reversed, which sends him to the ropes, where Kanyon hits him over the head with something.
A foreign object.
Leading to Page hitting an Uranagi for the pin. And no, Goldberg kicks out.
Is it funny to you that DDP did a version of the People's Elbow and then an Uranagi? Like, you know,
He's the People's Champ of WCW.
I know, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
DDP is then arguing with the ref,
He's pissed.
while the other Triad members get in the ring for a double team, only for Bill to nail a double clothesline to take them out. Goldberg then delivers a spear and a jackhammer to Page for the pin and the win.
Goldberg got a little nick on him, a little bit of blood. It was incidental. He wasn't bleeding.
No, it's probably from the object that Kanyon hit him with.
Yeah.
Actually, the funny part was whenever Goldberg set up for the spear, DDP is still arguing with the ref, and then he turns around, and then you can see in the replay, you see the ref kind of push Page towards Bill.
Oh yeah.
So he's away from him.
Just redirect it so it doesn't. So there's an excuse.
So it doesn't hit. So it doesn't hit him basically.
Yeah, so it's not in his view. Not bad.
Tony then sends us to a video package over our next match. Thankfully, it's not the same exact video as from the opening,
where they didn't tell us anything,
but it still covers the same exact talking points of who can Sting trust.
Yeah, which is all we've got here. It's not really anything else to dive into. No. They go, who's screwed Sting? Alexa screwed Sting? Hogan screwed Sting? Who do you trust? Like, well, you probably don't trust.
Did Sonny screw Sting?
Either of them.
We don't know.
I mean, if so, good for Sting.
But that takes us to our 9th match. Sting versus Hulk Hogan for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And Michael Buffer is here to do our announcements. So let's get ready to trust somebody. And Bret Hart makes his way to the ring to wish both men good luck. Basically, it's like, hey, you win. I'm your next opponent.
Yeah.
He wants the shot. Before leaving to the back. He doesn't even stay at ringside, that was just like, okay. That was...
Yeah, they don't do a lot of guys joining commentary.
No. And so we get back and forth action to begin, full of lockups, verbal exchanges, arm work, drop toe holds, and headlocks, until Hulk hits several knee lifts, right hands, and a corner clothesline, followed by a scoop slam and elbow drops for a 2 count. Sting answers back with a scoop slam and elbow drop of his own for a near fall, when they go to a test of strength, with Hogan taking control to nail a suplex, only for the Stinger to no-sell and take the Hulkster to a corner for mounted punches and a clothesline that sends Hogan rolling out. And Sting gets dragged to the floor where the two men brawl until Hulk sends his opponent into a railing, slamming him on the floor and dropping an elbow. But Stinger fights back to drop Hogan on the guardrail throat first, only for an eye rake to put the Hulkster back in control, wrapping a TV cable around his opponent's throat. Now back in the ring, Hogan delivers a back suplex for a 2 count, a bow and arrow hold, and clubbing blows to the back, before locking on an ab stretch in the middle of the ring, transitioning it into a roll-up for multiple near falls. Now more strikes by the Hulkster when Sting begins mounting a comeback with a crossbody for a 2 count, a pair of Stinger splashes when he goes for a third, but Hogan avoids to hit the big boot and leg drop.
Ugh.
DDP would then run out, taking out the ref from behind and jumping in the ring to nail a diamond cutter to Hulk, pulling Sting on top for the pin. And no, Hogan kicks out. Page with another diamond cutter to the ref, Patrick, which brings the Hitman back to the ring to attack DDP, with Hulk working over the Stinger again, knocking him to the floor. Sid Vicious hits the ring and he's taken out quickly by a big boot. Lex Luger comes in with a baseball bat, only for Hogan to deliver another big boot to him, leaving the weapon stranded in the ring. Sting would then roll in and grab the bat, with the Hulkster telling him to use it on Lex.
Lex is the one.
But the Stinger whacks Hogan instead. Applies the Scorpion Deathlock with Charles Robinson running down to call for the bell and the ref stoppage. And
I wasn't sure if you... Yeah, continue. I guess it's, via knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out. Cool.
Yeah, he didn't tap. He didn't tap. He just...
Yeah.
Charles Robinson. But yeah, Sting turns heel.
Why not?
Why not?
It's fine with me. I'm not complaining about it. Because how happy are we if Hogan doesn't have the belt? A little happier.
A little bit happier, yeah. So, fun fact here for you, and this will kind of why I hesitated earlier. Eric Bischoff was relieved of his duties 2 days before this show.
And does he not? He never comes back?
He does come back.
Okay.
But they
saw all the money they were spending?
Basically, because they literally put an accountant in charge of the company.
Yeah,
and
as they should have.
And he's the person that, his name's Bill Bush, ends up bringing in Russo here in the near future. We'll talk about more of that when that happens.
Yeah.
But because Bischoff was relieved of his duties literally before the show, there was no real direction creatively for anyone really going into and out of this show.
I mean, all that considered, they could have done worse, and they have in the past.
They could have done worse.
Yeah.
But knowing that, that's where
everybody comes out at the end.
Like, we know that they're building up Vicious, but knowing that they got rid of Bischoff, it's kind of like, well, maybe we could have probably just ended his streak right here and had Benoit actually pick up the win.
Yeah. I mean, and also he just beat Benoit in a good match.
Yeah.
And then comes out and just takes one big boot and is done.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, so we just undercut the win. Like,
pretty much.
It's like there was so many other people that came out. There was no reason for Sid specifically.
Sid should have never been
like
one of the
Lex and Brett make sense because they set that up.
Well, DDP coming out, he's a heel. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason Sid coming out makes sense, because he's a heel.
Yeah, but we don't
need... Like, unless you're going to
DDP's enough.
Yeah. Like, DDP and Lex would have been enough. You didn't need the Sid thing. Because you got to have Sid... Because Sid's not going to go against Hogan anytime soon. He's got to... They're building him up to face Goldberg.
Of course.
So, to put him into any kind of thing with Hogan at this point...
Put him in anything above Goldberg before he gets to Goldberg.
Yeah.
Is kind of pointless. But yeah, this is what should have happened, but Hogan really had to muck it up at the end.
So I ask you, Michael, what are your overall thoughts of Fall Brawl 1999?
Honestly, not a bad show. It's better than I expected. But at this point, that's all I want from WCW. So it's like almost like a wash where it's like, oh, it's better than I thought, but like I'm not pumping my fists because a little bit my expectations are so low that if you just go like a hair above that, I'm content. I was about to say pleased, but I'm content. And there was some good in-ring wrestling, which I know I can't get in the WWF. So I'll take it here when I can, even if it means less from a storytelling point of view. That was probably too much analysis for this show.
Well, you may have just changed my surprise of the night, because it might just be that you like this show somewhat, because I'm all like, the Sid Vicious match is my favorite match on this show.
Yeah, but that's Benoit.
And that tells you how terrible this show is.
It's just that I liked the tag match, and I think that there was some decent in-ring wrestling, and that's all I'm really looking for out of here. But
it was a slog to get through this.
I will say I didn't take notes on like the first handful of matches because I was like, there's nothing here. But then when it got interesting, I took notes. So I think I was bored into like getting excited at a point where it's like, okay.
I literally wrote, "Do not watch this show."
I think that the like matches 6 through 9 were entertaining enough, and like I said, my expectations are so low.
I mean, they are very low for a WCW show.
If Ernest the Cat Miller doesn't show up, I might be like okay with the show. I would not tell anybody to go out and watch it.
I was just like, behind the scenes, it usually takes me a couple weeks to get notes done for like 3 shows. Okay.
Yeah.
It took me a week and a half of that 2 weeks just to do this show. I knocked out the rest of our recording session in 2 days. And this show took me a week and a half.
Just to where were you digging?
Like literally just
like
every episode or every match just like, oh my God, this is just dog shit. I hated this show.
I hated it less than I expected. I was mildly entertained by some of it. Also, the crowd helped. I'm an idiot. The crowd helps sometimes.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right. Fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of the best moments of this show?
All the cheers for Benoit. Standing ovation for Benoit against Sid got me hyped. I liked the structure of the tag match between Heat and the Windhams.
The Windhams are so like.
Oh,
Barry's not. He's
lumbering.
Not good. I mean, Kendall's not good.
Anyway,
and Barry thinks he's better than he actually is at this point in his career.
Yeah,
and it was hard to watch.
They were not the correct opponents for this match.
And they had Stevie Ray doing the Heat segment. And it's just like, no.
Yeah, they got that one
I'm
a little
sorry.
backwards.
Like, I get what you're saying, but
Those are the little
was just
things
way too long for me.
That was way too long. Kaz Hayashi was fun.
I mean,
he's just doing
literally
like Muda in '88. But
if
why wouldn't he?
I actually kind of wanted Lenny Lane to go in harder on the gay stuff. Like he does it in like the first like couple minutes of the match.
Yeah.
And then it just turns into a match. And I was just like, no, you need to be,
if you're gonna do it,
if you're gonna be selling that gimmick, you need to sell that gimmick.
Yeah. And it's a bad gimmick.
And like the first match, like the only thing I can give him credit for is after Mysterio hurts himself, Vampiro realized it real quick.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, the clowns didn't really come into the ring. He was in the ring most of the time because they knew they had to change the ending of the match.
And they're not capable of doing that.
Exactly.
Vampiro, I mean, he spends most of his career in Mexico, right?
Yeah, he was in Mexico for most of his career. Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing. I always like seeing Goldberg as a heel. Not Goldberg, I'm sorry. DDP.
I mean, yeah, DDP is much more fun as a heel than he is as a face. As a face. I mean, I like popping for Page, but he's a much better heel than he is a face.
But he's one of those guys that can do both. Yeah. He can do both well, for sure.
I'll give Hogan and Sting some credit until the point where everyone starts running down.
I enjoyed it up until that
match
point.
It wasn't horrible. Like it could have been like
Hogan could have done a lot less.
Obviously, I was expecting like the worst.
Yeah.
And they did slightly better than that. How about most disappointing? I'm going to go straight to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Literally, there was a moment in that match with Berlyn where he goes for a fireman's carry. Berlyn goes for a fireman's carry. And Hacksaw's like, I'm not selling a fireman's carry for you, bro.
Oh, does he not? Does he not go up?
He doesn't even roll. He he slides out the front
Yeah.
into like a headlock, like they're in an actual like amateur wrestling match. If you were in an amateur wrestling match, it would have made sense. You're in a fucking professional wrestling ring. He's doing a fireman's carry, like one of the like 3 offensive moves that he's tried to do this entire match. That's not a fucking stomp or a forearm.
Yeah.
And you don't even let him get it over. Like, this is not even a match you're supposed to be in, Hacksaw. Take your fucking lumps in your 4 minutes and get out of the ring.
Those old guys, it's
like this match. I think this match went 12 minutes.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
Why is this match going 12 minutes?
Because it was supposed to be Buff.
I don't fucking care.
And even Buff didn't need to go 12 minutes with Alex.
That's not even.
I mean Berlyn.
And that's not even being. I'm disappointed in Buff Bagwell to just be like, I'm too good for fucking Berlyn. Like, it's his first match. Why we're going to put over the new guy in his first match?
Also, Buff Bagwell.
And the thing is, they think enough of you, Buff Bagwell,
to put him over.
That you putting him over is going to help him.
And Buff Bagwell can take a loss because of the type of character he is.
Exactly. Like, I'm like all these feelings. I'm like remembering why. Like,
I'm trying to remember what I asked earlier that you were like, "Oh, we'll get back to that."
Oh, it was the vicious Benoit thing. Why didn't they have? And I think it's because of the Benoit or the Bischoff stuff.
Yeah,
like they didn't know what they were wanting to do creatively, so they're just like, okay, sure, just have Vicious continue to win. Like all the plans that they had creatively, like any long-term plans, and I'm air quoting long-term plans because, WCW long-term plans are like a week and a half out, basically.
Yeah. It depends on who's willing to do the thing.
Exactly. I mean, they should be building Sid, if they're going to continue to do this streak thing with Vicious, it should be building him towards Goldberg. But Goldberg versus Vicious for the WCW United States Championship, is that where we're going with this? Because neither one of them need that belt.
No.
We shouldn't be taking this belt off of Benoit.
Benoit got a standing ovation.
Literally.
When people thought he was going to win.
And I think it does happen in the future. So, Revolution... Well, here's the other thing. What's the match that usually happens at Fall Brawl? War Games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have the Filthy Animals. You have the Revolution. Holy shit, would that not have been the War Games, best War Games of all time?
Yeah. You also have the Jersey Triad.
I mean, yeah, exactly. They could have found a fourth person. Mm-hmm. If you didn't want to turn the Revolution or Filthy Animals heel before the show, like, that's fine. But they do turn one of them heel at some point, and so they end up do face, which all those matches are going to be freaking awesome. But like Benoit versus Guerrero for the U.S. belt.
Who doesn't want to see that?
Saturn versus Shane Douglas.
Sounds great.
I mean, we've seen that match before in ECW, and at that point, Shane Douglas was like 3 times the wrestler Perry Saturn was.
Yeah.
But Perry Saturn's upgraded, definitely.
Uh-huh.
And he's younger.
Yeah.
And
they have history. Most of the fans don't know that, but that means that it has a better chance to be a great match.
Exactly. How about best performer of the night? Got to move on, so I'm not...
I don't know.
I mean, it's Benoit.
Benoit
had Sid Vicious, made Sid Vicious have my favorite match of this show.
I was going to say it's Benoit, and Sid gets a high five and a ham sandwich for pulling it off with because he could have. There's so many of those big guys that could just totally screw this up.
And most surprising,
the Duggan showed up on the show.
Yeah. You want to know what mine was?
What?
It's the WCW show, and every single match ended with a clean finish.
Wow, good point. Yeah.
Like after the fact, I looked back and I was like, "Are you serious that this is the show that I dislike?" And it's like the first one in forever that they've all done clean finishes. I mean, yes, there's run-ins,
but there's a definitive winner.
But there's a definitive pin or submission or ref stoppage, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I was just like, really? WCW? Really?
Did the show end with Sting holding the belt?
I believe so.
Okay, because I'm trying to picture it in my mind.
I mean, it ended pretty quickly. I think they were running out of time, so... But yeah.
Because some of these matches went
way too long.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Turn the lights down. Turn the projector on. Because we're ready to rumble. This week, the film we're covering is The Thin Man Goes Home, released November 21st, 1944 by MGM. Directed by Richard Thorpe and written by Robert Riskin, a 5-time Oscar nominee with 1 win, Dwight Taylor and Harry Kurnitz, a 1-time Oscar nominee. It stars William Powell, a 3-time Oscar nominee, Myrna Loy, and Lucille Watson, a 1-time Oscar nominee. And the plot of this one is on a trip to visit his parents. Detective Nick Charles gets mixed up in a murder investigation. And some trivia for this one, Loy was almost recast as she was in New York working for the Red Cross War Relief effort when production was supposed to begin. And liberal drinking, a mainstay of the first 4 Thin Man films, was curtailed for this film due to the wartime liquor rationing. And this is also the first Thin Man film that was not directed by W.S. Van Dyke, as he had passed away the previous year.
You're a big fan of this series.
I am, yes. We'll talk more about that here in a second. Some reviews and ratings of this one. IMDb has it at a 7.3. Letterboxd at a 3.5. And I found this review from the New York Times in 1945. It lacked the warmth we've come to expect from this sparkling team. Erstwhile fast pace has been slowed to a walk. Blame it on the script.
Or maybe the fact that we got a new director.
So yeah, my review, I love the Thin Man series of films for its 2 leads and their chemistry. Like literally, I've watched this entire series a couple times through. I first watched it for these shows that we're doing.
Yeah, and it's your favorite thing to come out of it,
I bought the entire box set
yeah,
because I loved them so much. This film takes us back to Nick's hometown, and he gets pulled into a murder mystery that has plenty of setup with everything being paid off. The rest of the film is Mike Mazurki, who plays a man in a barbershop. This is our 24th time seeing him.
Nice to see you, Mike.
And he decides that he wants to hit on Nora as she's trailing a suspect. I give the film a 3.5 and a wrestler performance of 3.0. I think this is actually my least favorite of... I'm pretty sure it actually is. It's my least favorite of the 5 films. The 2 main characters, Nick and Nora, they're not together most of the time in this one.
Oh, yeah. And that's...
They're both doing detective work, but they're not together
on
screen together. And their chemistry is part of the reason why you kind of fall in love with these films. So
this one's missing the key ingredient.
Yeah.
Which is, the 2 lead characters in the same room.
Yeah. But if this does sound interesting, and by all means, even though I say it's my least favorite, it is still a very good movie.
Yeah, just if you have to compare them, which of course you do, because it's the same characters.
Yeah.
And there's 3 movies before this and 1 after, so.
But it was on HBO there for a while. Like, they go on and off of HBO quite a bit. So always check your streaming services if you don't want to, but if you have to, go out there to your library system. I'm sure someone has it.
Yeah.
I know there's the entire box. Some library out there has the entire box set that you can get, because that is what I did.
Nice.
The first time, which I was super pumped up. I thought I was just getting like the first movie, and I got the entire set, and I was just like, cool. Well, I'm just going to knock
them all out.
Watch all of them. Next week, WWF SmackDown from September 16th, 1999.
Something must be happening on SmackDown.
I mean, we're going to Sin City, so what happens there may just stay there. But music from this week's show is King Kong by Eve Dottle, and Sting won our main event, so we play Sting Crow by Jimmy Hart and Howard Helm.
So funny that the song, they're like, we're not even going to hide what we're doing here. It's called Sting, the wrestler, / Crow, the character that the wrestler is ripping off.
Yeah. If you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there, rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts at. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always email us at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com or find us on X at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTO X. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for coming.